you want to make sure that it gets to the closing table and it's easy and it's clean. And so you want to make sure that you've got a lender in your back pocket that is, those pre-quals and pre-approvals are strong.
Right.
They are strong, because that, even whenever you're calling on your seller's behalf and checking out the offers that you've got, call that lender and make sure that you vet out all of the offers.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, Lori.Anderson here and Ashlynn Kelso.
Yes, happy Friday.
Drive Mortgage, and y'all know that we post videos every Friday, and look, we're in a different setting.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
We're wearing our black in a different setting. Can you tell we love black? So.
No, we're trying to lighten up our background here a little bit.
So, what we want to talk about today is making sure that you get your deal closed and that you use a seasoned lender, and what can go wrong if the lender is not doing a lot of their due diligence to make sure things are going smooth.
Yeah, so whenever we sit and think about the topics for the week, one of the things that we brainstorm on is what maybe happened that week that we wanted to share with people, because sometimes it's a very common problem or thing that we run into. And one of the things that I ran into this week was I had a listing agent reach out saying that her seller's deal was falling apart because the buyer's loan couldn't get approved, and it was only a few days before closing. Seller was upset, going, how do we not know? They sent us a pre-approval letter, everything looked good. And
think about how stressful it is. You're in it, and as small as it's as little as the deals as people are getting, and it's just the market's slow. It is stressful, and you want to make sure that nothing falls through. So
right.
Tell them about the example.
Well, and I think, having lenders, some of them are very desperate right now for business, because, you're seeing everything more shift to a buyer's market, and, there's lenders out there that's throwing out pre-approval letters. Maybe they just review the application without actually getting documentation and not realizing that there's things that may have gotten missed. In this scenario, it was a son buying a house and his mom was co-signing, and the lender failed to look and see that the mom was married. And she put that on her application, and it's an FHA loan. We're in a community property state. We have to pull the spouse's credit if you are married. And so in this instance, they did not catch it until they were resubmitting for final approval, and the underwriter must have missed it as well, and they caught it. And unfortunately, the spouse was not available and did not want to co-sign for the son. And so did not agree to let them pull credit, which, essentially that's what killed the deal, because they needed the mom's income as a co-signer. So nothing much that we could do, but we could have caught that before they even went under contract. So going back to what we were saying, it's very important that when you do apply for a loan, you're not thinking about things that, going back to what you're disclosing to the lender, you may fill out the application and not realize some of the things that the lender is responsible for knowing and asking. So
there's a lot of things when you go through this loan process, and it may seem invasive. It may be that we're, questioning everything about you, but it's to help. It's to help, and it's to make sure that we follow the guidelines and get the deal done. And we know that it's a painful process, but Ashlynn and I as lenders have always committed to making sure that we follow the trail of anything, so that we can be on top of those problems, so that they don't happen. And nowadays, with things being as, you want to make sure that it gets to the closing table and it's easy and it's clean. And so you want to make sure that you've got a lender in your back pocket that is, those pre-quals and pre-approvals are strong.
Right.
They are strong, because that, even whenever you're calling on your seller's behalf and checking out the offers that you've got, call that lender and make sure that you vet out all of the offers.
Yeah, it's not unheard of for a listing agent to call the lender and say, have you actually reviewed pay stubs, bank statements, tax returns, things like that. There's a lot of things that we have to look at. In addition to that, on the flip side, we may catch things that you didn't even know existed that we can help clean up. I've had it to where I pulled a credit report, and I asked somebody about their credit inquiries, and they're like, that was not me. Well, then we started, combing through their whole credit report, and they had some fraud on there that they had no idea. So really, they could qualify. But, if I wouldn't have talked to them and asked all the questions, we wouldn't have known that there's some things that we needed to get removed from their credit report. So there's just a few examples of don't be offended if your lender asks a ton of questions.
And just know that we're always trying to have a solution to any obstacle that we have, because
The more we know, the more we can help.
that's right. And it's our job to tell the underwriter what we need to do to get the loan through.
Right.
So when we submit it to underwriting, we're submitting the best possible scenario so that it'll breeze through. And that's what our teams are here for. And that's what we're here for. So we really hope that you guys will, consider using us, and because we are doing our damnedest to make sure that we are there for our agents and our sellers, our buyers, and everybody.
Yep, exactly.
So thanks, guys.